We're broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round. And you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out. Mountains, we're gonna walk it out. Mountains. Silence is quiet, and it feels like it's getting hard to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Ooh, mountains, bring it to its feet. For that we have each other, and for that we have each other. Yeah, we will rise, we will rise, we'll rise. Rise like the day. I will rise 1,000 times again. Listen, and we'll rise up. I like the waves. We'll rise up. In spite of the ache, we'll rise up, and we'll do it 1,000 times again. All right, God bless y'all. Okay, from Rise Up to what you guys are doing today, stand up, because we won't stand for this anymore. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Please give it up for the Baltimore Choir. I should have done a longer intro.
I can only say tonight that the prayers of the American people are with you. Hearts go out and prayers go out.
I come to offer the love and prayers of the nation.
Here at the White House, the victims and families have constantly been in our thoughts and prayers.
The adults let us down. At this point, they're going to be gone by midterm election because you are either with us or against us.
High school students are refusing to let thoughts and prayers be the end of the story.
Students are expected to walk out of their schools.
Hundreds of students coming outside here.
Point out that these are student-organized events, really powered by social media.
Starting to realize, wait, why is no one in Washington doing anything?
We're children. You guys are the adults. You need to take some action.
I don't want trying to do this uncontrolled discussion right now. This is not the time to have the discussion.
This is not the time for this. It's not the time.
The shooter at our school obtained weapons that he used on us legally.
I do not think that he should have gotten his hands on any kind of weapon.
If you think it's too easy to get a gun, do something about it. Make it not easier to get a gun. We know that this type of weapon has been used in other shootings.
We want privatized selling to be completely reformed, so you can't just walk into a building with $130 and walk out with an AR-15.
We're tired of being killed!
How is it that easy to buy this type of weapon?
It's not the weapon. It's the evil from within. Thoughts and prayers are really the only thing that's going to stop the evil from within the individual.
The students of Stoneman Douglas stormed the Florida State Capitol for the second day in a row.
They can walk around any question they want, but the more they don't act, the more they don't deserve to be in office.
Fighting their hearts out, who are showing us what makes America great. They will take care of it if no one else does.
Senator Rubio, can you tell me right now that you will not accept a single donation from the NRA?
Do we allow the children to tell us that we should pass a law that says no homework? No. The adults make the laws because we have the wisdom and we have the experience.
Politicians, we call BS.
We will accept nothing less than comprehensive gun control.
We can't say thoughts and prayers for 2 weeks and then have it go away until the next school shooting comes up, because this is real.
Before beginning today, I'd like to take a moment to again send our thoughts and prayers Good afternoon. To the leaders, skeptics, and cynics who told us to sit down and stay silent, wait your turn. Welcome to the revolution. It is a powerful and peaceful one because it is of, by, and for the young people of this country. My name is Cameron Kasky. Since this movement began, people have asked me, do you think any change is going to come from this? Look around. We are the change. Everybody here is standing with the future of our society, and for that, I thank you. My generation, having spent our entire lives seeing mass shooting after mass shooting, has learned that our voices are powerful and our votes matter. We must educate ourselves and start conversations that keep our country moving forward, and we will. We hereby promise to fix the broken system we've been forced into and create a better world for the generations to come. Don't worry, we've got this. The people of this country now see past the lies. We've seen this narrative before. For the first time, the corrupt aren't controlling our story. We are. The corrupt aren't manipulating the facts. We know the truth. Shooting after shooting, the American people now see one thing they all have in common: the weapons. Politicians, either represent the people or get out. The people demand a law banning the sale of assault weapons. The people demand we prohibit the sale of high-capacity magazines. The people demand universal background checks. Stand for us or beware, the voters are coming. On February 14th, tragedy struck my hometown, my school, Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High. Alyssa Al-Hadef, Scott Beagle, Martin Duque Anguiano, Aaron Feist, Jamie Guttenberg, Chris Hickson, Luke Hoyer, Kara Loughran, Gina Montaldo, Joaquin Oliver, Helena Petty, Meadow Pollock, Helena Ramsey, Alex Schachter, Carmen Schentrup, Peter Wang, and Nicholas Dworet all lost their lives in less than 7 minutes. And I saved Nicholas for the end because today is Nicholas's birthday. Nicholas, we are all here for you. Happy birthday. Their families endured great pain. Many others were injured, and thousands of young people, my classmates, were forced to become adults and were targeted as adults. We have to do this for them. We must stand beside those we've lost and fix the world that betrayed them. This doesn't just happen in schools. Americans are being attacked in churches, nightclubs, movie theaters, and on the streets. But we, the people, can fix this. For the first time in a long while, I look forward 10 years and I feel hope. I see light. I see a system I'll be proud of, but it all starts with you. The march is not the climax of this movement, it is the beginning. It is the springboard off of which my generation and all who stand with us will jump into a safer future. Today is a bad day for tyranny and corruption. Today, we take to the streets in over 800 marches around the globe and demand common sense gun laws. Today is the beginning of a bright new future for this country. And if you think today is good, just wait for tomorrow. We must protect, educate, and inspire the future. And everybody here is proof that we will do that, and the future is looking very bright for this country. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I want to start off with a chant. Everybody repeat after me. Everyday shootings are everyday problems. No, that was a little weak, everybody. I need stronger than that. Everyday shootings are everyday problems. Now, make sure everybody in Washington hears us. Everyday shootings are everyday problems. My name is Trevon Bosley, and I'm here with the brave youth leaders of St. Sabina, and I'm here to speak on behalf of Chicago's youth who are surrounded and affected by gun violence every day. I'm here to speak for those youth who fear they may be shot while going to the gas station, the movies, the bus stop, to church, or even to and from school. I'm here to speak for those Chicago youth who feel their voices have been silenced for far too long. And I'm here to speak on behalf of everyone that believes a child getting shot and killed in Chicago or any other city is still a not acceptable norm. Most importantly, I'm here to speak on behalf of my brother Terrell Bosley, who was shot and killed while leaving church April 4, 2006. Just to give you guys a few stats from Chicago, since 2006 there have been more than 5,850 people shot and killed in Chicago. And since 2012 there have been more than 16,000 people shot. Now let me repeat that one more time. Since 2006 there have been more than 5,850 people shot and killed in Chicago. And since 2012 there have been more than 16,000 people shot in Chicago. These stats are not just numbers in a speech. These are mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters on a societal proportion. These are lawyers, doctors, artists, musicians. And more than anything else, these are lives cut short due to senseless gun violence. I must add though, Chicago's violence epidemic didn't start overnight. It was caused by many problems that we are still not dealing with to this day. When you have a city that feels it's more important to help pay for a college and sports complex rather than fund schools and impoverished communities, you have gun violence. When you have a city that feels we need more divvy bikes in downtown Chicago for tourists rather than more funding for workforce programs that get guys off the streets real jobs, you have gun violence. You have an Illinois state governor, Bruce Rauner, who feels that funding anti-violence programs is, I quote, non-essential spending. You have gun violence. When you have elected officials who feel that getting a few extra dollars from the NRA is more important than their actual constituents, you have gun violence. And when you have a president that would rather constantly talk about and belittle Chicago's violence than rather than send funds and resources, you have gun violence. It's time for the nation to realize gun violence is more than just a Chicago problem or a Parkland problem, but it's an American problem. We are here demanding that this country, we are here demanding that we get what we as these people of this country deserve. We deserve a right to have a life of fear without fear of being gunned down. We can only live in this so often called the American dream if we have the proper gun legislation and resources to do so. And in Chicago's case, no more frivolous spending on tourist attractions, but rather we need to spend on the people that actually live there. It's time to care about all communities equally. It's time to stop judging some communities as worthy and some communities as unworthy. It's time to stop judging youth that look like me or my brother that come from impoverished communities any different than anyone else. It's time for America to notice that everyday shootings are everyday problems. I'll close with this quote by Martin Luther King Jr., which said, "We must accept finite disappointment, but never lose infinite hope." I said this to say, no matter the hurdles we may face along this journey, we must remain hopeful and we must continue to stand together and fight for the lives that we deserve. Thank you.
Everyone, Okay. My name is Delaney Tarr, and I'm here today because I am a Marjorie Stoneman Douglas student. However, I am not here today for the media. I'm not here for the crowds, as great as you all are, for the fame, or for the fun. I'm here on this stage today, and I'm here working every day for my 17 fellow Eagles pronounced dead because of gunfire. I am here for every person that has died at the hands of gun violence, and for the many more whose lives were irreparably changed because of it. I hope that is why we are all here. Because this is more than just a march. This is more than just one day, one event, then moving on. This is not a mere publicity stunt, a single day in the span of history. This is a movement. This is a movement relying on the persistence and the passion of its people. We cannot move on. If we move on, the NRA and those against us will win. They want us to forget. They want our voices to be silenced, and they want to retreat into the shadows where they can remain unnoticed. They want to be back on top, unquestioned in their corruption. But we cannot and we will not let that happen. Today and every day, we will continue to fight for those things that are right. We will continue to fight for common sense. We will continue to fight for our lives. We will continue to fight for our dead friends. There will be no faltering, no pauses in our cause. Every moment will be dedicated to those pieces of legislation. Every march, every meeting, every moment. All for that assault weapons ban to keep these weapons of war out of the hands of civilians who do not need them. All for the prohibition of high-capacity magazines, because no hunter will ever need access to a magazine that can kill 17 in mere minutes. All for the reinforcement of background checks and closing of loopholes, because there must be more requirement for a person to access a gun than just a wad of cash. There are so very many things, so many steps to take. Like right now, sign our petition. It takes 2 seconds, and it matters. We will take the big, and we will take the small, but we will keep fighting. When they give us that inch, that bump stock ban, we will take a mile. We are not here for breadcrumbs, we are here for real change. We are here to lead. We are here to call out every single politician, to force them into enacting this legislation, to addressing this legislation, to doing more than a simple Band-Aid on a broken bone. The pressure is on for every person in power, and it will stay that way. Because they know what is coming. They know that if there is no assault weapons ban passed, then we will vote them out. They know that if there is no tightening of the background checks, we will vote them out. They know that if there is no shrinking of magazine capacity, then we will vote them out. If they continue to ignore us, to only pretend to listen, then we will take action where it counts. We will take action every day in every way until they simply cannot ignore us anymore. Today, we march, we fight, we roar. We prepare our signs, we raise them high. We know what we want, we know how to get it, and we are not waiting any longer.
Even if it's a drill, when it's brought to your home, it makes it more real.
We heard gunshots. So we started thinking it was real. We would try to run away from the attacker or anything outside of the campus.
I started to think, what if this would happen?
It really brought the reality of the situation to us, I think.
This is my 10th one. So, but the weird thing is, it gets me every time.
This kind of emergency training should not need to happen in our schools. Since the massacre at Parkland High School, more than 150,000 students in at least 170 elementary, middle, and high schools have experienced a shooting. Too many have died, been injured, and 40% developed post-traumatic stress disorder. This senseless gun violence reigns terror in our schools, on our streets, and in our homes. Every day on average, 96 Americans die, and 7 of those lives are children and teens. At least 40% of young people in cities say that they have witnessed a shooting. The presence of a gun in a domestic violence situation makes it 5 times more likely that the woman will be killed. This is an epidemic, and this is why we march. Enough is enough. It's time for a change. Never again.
Thank you so much for having me, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you, sharing our voices so we can be heard together.
Skies are crying, I am watching, catching teardrops in only silence as it's ending, like we never had a chance. Do you have to make me feel like there's nothing left of me? You can take everything I have
Douglas High School. This year, $1.05. When you take 3,140,167, the number of students enrolled in Florida schools, and divide it by 3,303,355, the amount of money Marco Rubio has received from the National Rifle Association. It comes out to $1.05. Is that all we're worth to these politicians? $1.05? Was $17.85 all it cost you that day, Mr. Rubio? Well, I say one life is worth more than all the guns in America. This is not a red versus blue issue. This is a morals issue. And to the politicians that believe that their right to own a gun comes before our lives, get ready to get voted out by us, the future. We will not allow a price to be put upon our lives. We will no longer be hunted down and treated like prey by politicians who simply just don't care about us. We are fighting. We have been fighting. We've been fighting since Columbine, since Sandy Hook, since Pulse, since Las Vegas. And we will continue to fight until we put a stop to gun violence in America. Because we are no longer a statistic in this country. We will not be treated like a statistic in this country. My school, Pulse, every other mass shooting will no longer be a statistic because we're going to put an end to those statistics and we will never stop fighting. Thank you.
Vote them out. Vote them out! 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 Vote them out!
My name is Edna Lisbeth Chavez, and I am from South Los Angeles, California, el sur de Los Angeles. I am a 17-year-old senior at Manual Arts High School and a member of an organization called Community Coalition, where I am a youth leader at South Central Youth Empowered Through Action. At Community Coalition, we organize high school students to develop their leadership skills in order to push for educational justice in our communities. That's why I got involved. I wanted to impact policies and make sure our voices are heard. I am a youth leader. I am a survivor. I have lived in South LA my entire life and have lost many loved ones to gun violence. This is normal. Normal to the point that I've learned to duck from bullets before I learned how to read. skin turned gray. Ricardo was his name. Can y'all say it with me? I lost more than my brother that day. I lost my hero. I also lost my mother, my sister, and myself to that trauma and that anxiety. If the bullet did not kill me, that anxiety and that trauma will. I carry that trauma everywhere I go. I carry it with me in school, in class, walking home, and visiting loved ones. And I am not alone in this experience. For decades, my community of South Los Angeles has become accustomed to this violence. It is normal to see candles. It is normal to see posters. It is normal to see balloons. It is normal to see flowers honoring the lives of black and brown youth that have lost their lives to a bullet. How can we cope with it when our school district has its own police department? Instead of making black and brown students feel safe, they continue to profile and criminalize us. Instead, we should have a department specializing in restorative justice. We need to tackle the root causes of the issues we face and come to an understanding on how to resolve them. I am here to honor the Florida students that lost their lives and to stand with the Parkland students. I am here today to honor Ricardo. I am here today to honor Stephen Clark. I am here today to uplift my South LA community. Enough is enough. Question: how many more children have to die so that this problem is finally acknowledged? Policymakers, listen up. Army teachers will not work. More security in our schools does not work. Zero tolerance policies do not work. They make us feel like criminals. We should feel empowered and supported in our schools. Instead of funding these policies, fund mentorship programs, mental health resources, paid internship and job opportunities. My brother, like many others, would have benefited from this. So let's make it happen. It's important to work with people that are impacted by these issues, the people you represent. We need to focus on changing the conditions that foster violence and trauma. And that's how we will transform our communities and uplift our voices. This has not and shall not stop us. It has only empowered us. Mi nombre, my name, es Edna Lisbeth Chavez. y change. La lucha sigue. Gracias y bendiciones.
Alex Wynn. I'm a junior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. In the wake of the tragedy on February 14th, we, as students, as youths, decided that if adults weren't going to take action, we would. No gun-related legislation has been passed in this country since 2008, 10 years ago. Since 2008, there have been at least 95 mass shootings in this country, and hundreds and thousands more just senseless violence on the cities of our nation, and cities like Miami, Chicago, and Baltimore. It needs to stop. People believe that the youth of this country are insignificant. People believe that the youths have no voice. When Joan of Arc fought back English forces, she was 17 years old. When Mozart wrote his first symphony, he was 8 years old. To those people that tell us that teenagers can't do anything, I say that we were the only people that could have made this movement possible. Together, we will use our voices to make sure that our schools, churches, movie theaters, and concerts, and our streets become safer without having them feel like prisons. If teachers start packing heat, are they going to arm our pastors, ministers, and rabbis? Are they going to arm the guys scanning tickets at the movie theater? Are they going to arm the person wearing the Mickey Mouse costume at Disney? This is what the National Rifle Association wants, and we will not stand for it. We would not need metal detectors and clear backpacks and more weapons in our streets if there weren't weapons of war in the hands of civilians. For too long, our government has been useless on this issue. Our job as their constituents is to make sure we know what they're thinking. There are over 250 representatives that have not come out with a public stance on this issue. It is our job to make sure that we call them up and force them out of the shadows of corruption and into the light of justice. As teens, people think that we don't like to wait around for things, and they're sometimes right. A lot of you are probably wondering, what now? Now, we need to come together on all fronts and push aside those that divide us. Now we need to get on the phone and call our representatives and push them to stop incumbency and take action. Now we need to educate ourselves on which politicians are truly working for the people and which ones we want to vote out. Because at the end of the day, bullets do not discriminate, so why should we? It is not about your sexual orientation. It is not about your ethnicity. It is not about your gender. It is not about where you live or how much money you make. And it most certainly is not about political party. All it comes down to is life or death. To all the politicians out there, if you take money from the NRA, you have chosen death. If you have not expressed to your constituents a public stance on this issue, you have chosen death. If you do not stand with us by saying we need to pass common sense gun legislation, you have chosen death. And none of the millions of people marching in this country today will stop until they see those against us out of office, because we choose life.
We may not yet have reached our glory, but I will gladly join the fight. And when our children tell their story, they'll tell the story of tonight. They'll tell the story of tonight.
Was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear?
Well, let that lonely feeling wash away.
We see is lost.
And fare on their way to and from school. At this moment, please raise your hand if you have been affected by gun violence to honor the ones you have lost. Today, I raise my hand in honor of my twin brother, Zaire Kelly. Zaire was shot on September 20th, 2017, on his way home from a competitive college counseling after-school program called College Bound. Zaire had the personality that would light up the room. He was energetic and full of dreams and aspirations. He was our team captain on the track team. He was running for student government president, and he was a youth council member. He aspired to be a forensic scientist and attend Florida A&M University for undergrad. Zaire was also the best dresser I knew in his style. He was a person, a leader, an aspirer, not just another statistic. I was in contact with Zaire while he was walking home, texting him and calling him all through the night. About 20 to 30 minutes went by, and I became worried because the walk alone doesn't even take 30 minutes. I left my room to ask my mom where he was, until I saw flashing blue and red lights outside my window. I told my parents that there were police cars and an ambulance on our street. We rushed outside, discovering that it was Zaire. That night, on September 20th, a robber with a gun was lurking on my streets for hours. On my walk home, he attempted to rob me, but I ran. Though he had an ankle monitor on, and he was supposed to be monitored by the police, he was still able to obtain a gun illegally, lurk in my streets, and take my brother's life. He shot my brother in the head. It would be Once we arrived to the hospital, he was pronounced dead. From the time we were born, we shared everything, including initials. I spent time with him every day because we went to the same school, shared the same friends, and we even shared the same room. Can you imagine how it would be to lose someone that close to you? Sadly, too many of my friends and peers can. This school year alone, my school lost 2 students to senseless gun violence, Paris Brown and my brother Zaire Kelly. This year alone, in January, there were 6 students killed under the age of 19 by guns here in Washington, D.C. In my brother's name, my family is proposing the Zaire Kelly Public Safety Zone Amendments Act of 2018. This act aims to create safe passage zones for students to and from schools and other activities by expanding the definition of a student. With this amendment, a student will be defined by any person enrolled in a public and private daycare center, elementary school, vocational school, secondary school,
junior college, or university. It expands gun-free zones to include recreation centers. This amendment means that every student in Washington, D.C. will carry the protection of my brother's name, ensuring safety as they travel to and from school in our city. My name is Zion Kelly. Just like all of you, I have had enough.
In our country, yet most representatives have no public stance on guns. And to that, we say no more. We are going to make this the voting issue. We're going to take this to every election, to every state and every city. We're going to make sure the best people get in our elections to run, not as politicians, but as Americans. Because this is not cutting it. When people try to suppress your vote, and there are people who stand against you because you're too young, we say no more. When politicians say that your voice doesn't matter because the NRA owns them, we say no more. When politicians send their thoughts and prayers with no action, we say no more. And to those politicians supported by the NRA that allow the continued slaughter of our children and our future, I say get your resumes ready. Today is the beginning of spring, and tomorrow is the beginning of democracy. Now is the time to come together, not as Democrats, not as Republicans, but as Americans. Americans of the same flesh and blood that care about one thing and one thing only, and that's the future of this country and the children that are going to lead it. Now, they will try to separate us in demographics. They will try to separate us by religion, race, congressional district, and class. They will fail. We will come together. We will get rid of these public servants that only serve the gun lobby. And we will save lives. You are those heroes. Lastly, let's put the USA over the NRA. This is the start of the spring and the blossoming of our democracy. So let's take this to our local legislators, and let's take this to midterm elections, because without the persistent heat, without the persistence of voters and Americans everywhere getting out to every election, democracy will not flourish, but it can and it will. So I say to those politicians that say change will not come, I say we will not stop until every man, every woman, every child, and every American can live without fear of gun violence. And to that I say, no more. Thank you. I love you all. God bless all of you, and God bless America. We can and we will change the world.
My name is Naomi, and I'm 11 years old. Me and my friend Carter led a walkout at our elementary school on the 14th. We walked out for 18 minutes, adding a minute to honor Cortland Arrington, an African-American girl who was the victim of gun violence in her school in Alabama after the Parkland shooting. I am here today to represent Cortland Arrington. I am here today to represent Hadia Pendleton. I am here today to represent Tiana Thompson, who at just 16 was shot dead in her home here in Washington, D.C. I am here today to acknowledge and represent the African American girls whose stories don't make the front page of every national newspaper. Whose stories don't read on the evening news. I represent the African American women who are victims of gun violence, who are simply statistics instead of vibrant, beautiful girls that full of potential. privileged to be here today. I am indeed full of privilege. My voice has been heard. I am here to acknowledge their stories, to say they matter, to say their names, because I can, and I was asked to be. For far too long, these names, these black girls and women, have been just numbers. I'm here to say never again for those girls too. I am here to say that everyone should value those girls too. People have said that I am too young to have these thoughts on my own. People have said that I am a tool of some nameless adult. It's not true. My friends and I might still be 11, and we might still be in elementary school, but we know life isn't equal for everyone, and we know what is right and wrong. We also know that we stand in the shadow of the Capitol, and we know that we have 7 short years until we too have the right to vote. So I'm here today to honor the words of Toni Morrison. If there's a book that you want to read but it hasn't been written yet, you must be the one to write it. I urge everyone here and everyone who hears my voice to join me in telling the stories that aren't told. To honor the girls, the women of color who were murdered at disproportionate rates in this nation. I urge each of you to help me write the narrative for this world and understand so that these girls and women are never forgotten. Thank you.
I'm 16 years old, and I'm in a creative writing program through After School Matters in Chicago. I just want to take this time and personally thank all of you for coming out here and letting me share this amazing opportunity with you guys. Thank you so much. I'm here because I have been personally affected by the lack of gun control, and I believe guns have taken over the minds of individuals who want an easy way out of their dilemma. Chicago goes through this every day, and you don't realize how much of a toll it is taking on our city until you see it in our communities. You see it on someone you know. You see it on someone like me. Freshman year in high school, I wanted to get some things for the store for my mom because she was sick. I remember pulling on all these clothes and going out in 10 or so degree weather. It was so cold. Get to the store, grabbing all this stuff, thinking maybe she needs this, maybe she needs that, and finally getting into line. This guy in front of me all of a sudden gets upset because he didn't have enough money to pay for the things that he wanted to buy. He gets out of line and starts trashing the store, throwing everything over the floor, pushing carts, just making a fool out of himself. So finally, when I check out, I walk to the door and I'm ready to go when I hear a scream and a bang. I turn around and see he's grabbing all this stuff, pushing it into every crevice of his body, trying to grab as much as he can. When he finally turns to me, he comes towards me and I couldn't move, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't talk, I couldn't think. All I remember is seeing dark jeans coming towards me. He pulls out this silver pistol and points it in my face and said these words that to this day haunt me and give me nightmares. He said, if you said anything, I will find you. And yet I'm still saying something today. Guns have long scared our children, corrupted our adults, and publicly silenced our government. Guns have become the voice of America, and the government is becoming more negligent by this predicament by the day. Join me in sharing my pain and my anger. Help us by screaming to the government that we are tired of crying for help to a group of people that have turned their backs on us, despite their reassurance of making our country safer. will never have a chance to contribute the turn of our nation. Help us by vociferating the voices of those who are too oppressed to even speak for themselves. Together, we can make sure that what happened to me, the students in Parkland, and to the individuals who stand here now does not repeat itself to other people. We deserve safer schools, safer classrooms, safer streets, and a safer place for us to learn and survive. We deserve better because I believe that we are the future. And we must act upon this civil inflicted war while we still can. The new generation depends on our actions, and we must deliver them effectively and as one. We are the turn of this century. We are the voice for change. We are the pieces to fix what America is falling short on. Make it happen.
My name is Matt Post. I'm a 12th grader and the student member of the board for Montgomery County, Maryland. You and I gather in a time of moral crisis for our country. We stand at a moment when our nation's laws are not guided by what is right or wrong, not by what is morally sound for the many, but instead is limited by the insatiable greed of a few. In their greed, the gun lobby and their politicians have tried to deflect and distract us. They've tried to twist what is so clearly a gun issue into anything else. But we won't fall for it. We know that to only focus on school safety instead of American safety is to dismiss the thousands of tragedies in between the massacres. It ignores the people, disproportionately people of color, who die by bullet without even making a headline. That our politicians still lack the compassion to act. And when that cold inaction that continues to fuel this endless bloodshed churns and churns, it's not difficult to diagnose the moral health problem of this country. Our nation's politics are sick with soullessness, but make no mistake, we are the cure. Where they choose incrementalism, we choose real change. Where they embrace an extremism of complacency, we embrace an extremism of love. Where they believe in the absolutism of an amendment, we believe in the absolutism of human life. It won't be easy to change things. The immoral, the obstructionists, and the complicit are already lining up to block our path. We're going to have some courage to fix this. It's going to take some will. So let me ask, is there a will to keep weapons of war off our streets? Is there a will to break the stranglehold of the NRA? Is there a will to bring morality to this country's politics? Then stand up, speak up, register to vote. If we sustain our efforts, if we keep our heads unbowed, who can stop us? If we march today, canvass tomorrow, and vote 227 days from now, we will make this a turning point for our country. And we, the new diverse, inclusive, and compassionate face of America, will lead this country once again down the path of righteousness. Thank you.
People who say those words to understand one thing. It won't be a kill, especially for the siblings who have lost their brothers and sisters, and for other children whose voices aren't heard but feel the painful effects of gun violence. I have watched for years as gun violence continues to take a toll on communities across the country. For me, I would like to not worry about dying and focus on math and science and playing basketball with my friends. Don't I deserve to go up? On April 4th, we will remember Martin Luther King Jr. on his 50th anniversary of his death. What we sometimes forget is that he himself was a victim of gun violence. I would
like to finish my speech today by honoring Martin Luther King Jr. by remembering his words, which are all as true today as when he was alive. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matter, and our lives matter." Thank you.
My name is Jacqueline Corin, and I am proud to say that Parkland is my home. Parkland is the heart of this movement. But just as a heart needs blood to pump, my hometown needs the alliance of other communities to properly spread this message. We openly recognize that we are privileged individuals and would not have received as much attention if we weren't for the affluence of our city. Because of that, however, we share the stage today and forever with those who have always stared down the barrel of a gun. This issue is undoubtedly an epidemic that affects communities of all classes, an epidemic that the Center for Disease Control does not have the funds to research. This disease continues to spread, even though we have discovered the cure. But our government officials close their ears because it involves change, a change that does not align with their own agenda. That is why Parkland cannot and will not do this alone. There is strength in numbers, and we need each and every one of you to keep screaming at your own congressman. Don't be scared just because they have senator in front of their name. Our elected officials have seen American after American drop from a bullet. And instead of waking up to protect us, they have been hitting the snooze button. But we're here to shake them awake. Each congressman has a local office in their district, so pay them a visit or organize a town hall. They'll be home for the next 2 weeks for congressional recess. Have them hear you out because they work for us. And if they still won't meet with you, remind them that you invited their opponent, because we all know they'll show up then. We cannot keep America great if we cannot keep America safe. And 96 deaths by firearm every day is not what I would call great. Our First Amendment right is our weapon of war in this, a weapon that should be on our streets, a weapon that cannot kill but can heal. Love will always outweigh the hate, as the universe is on the side of justice. So I need each and every one of you, no matter your age, to continue to fight alongside us, because hearts cannot pump without blood, and I don't want your community to join the ghastly inner circle that mine is now a part of. In the end, we are all fighting for our lives. But we are a great generation, and we'll be the ones to make America safe. Thank you.
My name is Yolanda Renee King, granddaughter of Martin Luther King and Coretta. My grandfather had a dream that his 4 little children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream that enough is enough. And that this should be a gun-free world. Period. Will you please repeat these words after me? Spread the word! Have you heard? All across the nation. We are going to be
There might be musicians on this stage, but this is not Coachella. We might have movie stars in the crowd. We might have videos on these screens, but this is not the Oscars. And I don't know if you've been looking, but I don't see any Macy's Day balloons out there. This is real life. This is reality. This is what's happening in our country and around the world today. I'd like to make it real for a minute. February 14th is my sister's birthday. She had to spend that birthday huddled under a desk, holding Lauren Hogg, David's sister, her hand, hoping that she was going to make it home that day. She was premature. She didn't know if she was going to make it at the beginning of her life, and she didn't know if she was going to make it home that day this year. She might have not stared down the shooter's eyes. She might have not even seen him or even known who he was. But he affected her life just as much as everybody else who's spoken on this stage today. And I know a lot of people are out there saying that we need to make America safe again. And I know that we can't. We cannot make America safe again until we arm our teachers. We need to arm our teachers. We need to arm them with pencils, pens, paper, and the money they need. They need that money to support their families and to support themselves before they can support the futures in those classrooms, to support the future that sits down at that desk waiting to learn. And we need to arm our students too. We need to arm them with the facts and the knowledge and the education they need to live in the real world, not just some fantasy, not just something painted out there by the public, by the media. We need them to be armed, and there's only one way to do that. This right here, this connects you to the whole of human information, the whole of human knowledge. It connects you with the click of a button. You can learn anything that I've learned, anything that we've all learned in our journey to this stage right here today. You can learn it just like that. Just go to a website, type it in, and it's there. I've been amazed by what I've seen. I'm amazed that I cannot see the end of this crowd here in DC today. I've been amazed by all of the walkouts that have been taking place over the past 5 weeks. And these walkouts have been criticized. They've been told that it is a disruption to the educational process. And I say to them, the real disruption to the educational process is staring down the barrel of a gun. It's the fact that you could be taking a calculus exam, and then when you're doing that, you have in the back of your head the thought that where's the shooter going to enter? When's he going to come in? Where can I hide? We're done hiding. We're done being afraid. We're done being full of fear because it is a waste of our time and it is not living out what our forefathers, what our founding fathers envisioned for this country. Life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness. And now I know we march today, but this isn't over. This is the beginning of the end, and from here we fight. It is time to fight for our lives. And I say there's only one way to do that. We need to rev up society. We need to rev up the engines. We need to rev up America. And we do that through registering to vote. We need to do that through every single walkout. We will be making sure that you can register to vote, pre-register to vote. Then we will educate. We will be going around the country until these elections and therefore after, until we can tell every man, woman, and child in this country what is real, what is going on. And we need to make sure that everyone knows what is actually happening in their backyard and abroad. So we will register, we will educate, and then when it comes down to it, we will vote. They might preach NRA, they might preach GUN, but we're preaching REV. Register, educate, vote. Thank you, and hello, Uncle Myron.
Hi, my name is Alea Eastman, and I am a Parkland survivor. when bullets started flying in, and I was the third classroom. Today, one of my fellow fallen eagles named Nicholas Doret, it would have been his 18th birthday today, and I dedicate my march to him. But I'm not only here to speak about school shootings. I'm here to speak for the urban communities that have been speaking out about this way before February 14, 2018. Their voices are just as important as ours, and they need to be heard. This is a very important subject, and it needs to change. Although it's been 38 days since the Parkland shooting, nothing has changed, and we need change now. This cannot happen again, and it's going to continue to happen again until we get change. How many more do we need? How many more do we need in schools? How many more do we need in the streets? We need change now, not only in schools, but in urban communities as well. All of our lives are important, and all of our stories need to be heard, no matter what color you are, what school you go to, what neighborhood you live in. 15 years ago, I lost my Uncle Patrick to gun violence in Brooklyn, New York. My mother almost lost her daughter to the same gun violence in Parkland, Florida. This needs to change. We've been fighting for this way too long, and nothing has changed, and we need change now. Yes, I am a Parkland survivor and an MSD student, but before this, I was a regular black girl, and after this, I am still black and I am still regular, and I will fight for all of us.
Hello, beautiful people of America. It is a great day to be here. It is a great day to see all of you here, and I am proud of each and every one of you. And the truth is, I am not here for me. I am here for you. So you don't ever have to fear of getting shot in your own classroom. You don't ever have to wonder if you'll have to see your best friend die next to you. You don't ever have to worry about going into a Holocaust history class to learn about death and then experience it right before your eyes. And this is why, oh my God. And this is why this piece is called Enough. Never did I think I would be herded like cattle by a shower of bullets that left me scarred and rattled, forced to huddle among those who lost their last living breaths on a day that was designated for loves and laughs. I never got to say goodbye. I could barely see out my eyes because I was crying tears and blood at the same time. Barricaded behind those filing cabinets and bookcases that day taught me one thing, and one thing only. Regardless of how much money you pay or how much you pray, if you don't change anything today, your children will no longer stay. So when do we say enough is enough? Day in and day out, our kids are getting shot up. And the moment we speak up, we're scolded that we are not old enough. It is as if we need permission to ask our friends not to die. Lawmakers and politicians will scream guns are not the issue, but can't look me in the eye.
punishments. Use security protocol and methods that are efficient. And one more request. Listen. Our mission is simple, and our ambitions are unbeatable. Let's keep the guns out of the hands of the wrong people and keep them in the hands of the safe and reasonable. So either you can join us or be on the side of history who prioritize their guns over the lives of others. The only way we can do this is in numbers. Let's have our lawmakers reflect our views and address our struggles. Let's stand. Unite with one another. We the people still stands true, so now America, you will have to choose. Will you give up, or is enough enough? And I have one more request. Today is March 24th, March for Our Lives. But it is also the birthday of Nick Ward, someone that was senselessly murdered in front of me. Today is his birthday. I would like to sing together, Happy Birthday. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nick. Happy birthday to you.
Yes, I said family. I said family because we are here joined together in unity fighting for the same goals. I say family because of all the pain that I see in the crowd. And that pain is another reason why we are here. Our pain makes us family. Us hurting together brings us closer together to fight for something better. My name is Alex King. I'm 17. I am a senior at North Lundale College Prep. As well as a peace warrior and a leader with Good Kids Mad City. Chicago has been at the forefront of gun violence for a very long time, with 650 people being murdered in the year of 2017 and 771 being murdered in the year of 2016. But that's not it. Gun violence travels in places like Florida, Baltimore, Washington, D.C., Los Angeles. It happens nationwide. I know many people who have lost loved ones, friends and family on a regular basis due to gun violence. My nephew, Deshaun Moore, he was taken away on May 28th in the year of 2017, 2 weeks after his 16th birthday. The day I lost my nephew was a huge turning point in my life. I started doing a lot of bad things, hanging around a bad crowd. I started to really give up. But there's this principle by Dr. King, and it states, the beloved community is the framework for the future. And what that means is, how our community is now is how it will be affected in the future if we don't make a change. If we aren't acting like a family now, we won't act like a family in the future. If pain is in our community now, pain will forever be in our community in the future if we don't make a change. Our community has been affected by gun violence for so long and will continue to be affected by it if we don't do something. But through my friends and colleagues, I found help to come up out of a dark place. Everyone doesn't have the same resources and support system as I was lucky to have. Myself and a few other peace warriors were able to take a trip to visit Parkland students.
and share our trauma with one another. We left not only knowing that we would support one another, but also realizing that without the proper grassroots resources, this issue of violence will not be solved, and we will not stop until we are properly resourced in our communities. So family, let's continue to fight for what's right. And since we are family now, I would like to pass on one of the traditions that me and my family does at North Lawndale College Prep. So, as I do this, I would ask that you follow me after I say repeat after me. So it's this African clap that we do at North Lawndale that shows unity, which is unity is strength. Look at the numbers here in the crowd today. Do you see this? So, here's how it goes. First, I would say one, and that's just a simple clap. So when I say one, it's like this. One, 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 one. Okay. Next, I would say four. And how that works is two sets of two. So when I say four, it goes like this. Four, one, two, one, two. Four, four, one, two. And now, here's the tricky part. Now we're going to do 10, which is two sets of three and two sets of two. So, how this goes, when I say 10, it goes like this. 10. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. 10. Now y'all think we're going to do this as a family? Let's go. 10. For we are survivors. Let me say that again for you. For we are survivors. We are survivors of a cruel and silent nation. A nation where freedom, justice, equality, and purpose is not upheld. A nation where we do not live out the true meanings of our creed. When will we as a nation understand that nonviolence is the way of life for courageous people? When will we as a nation understand that we are not here to fight against one another, but we are here to fight for life and peace? Dr. King once said, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Which now leads me to say that violence cannot drive out violence. Only peace can do that. Poverty cannot drive out poverty. Only resources can do that. Death cannot drive out death. Only proactive life can do that. As I stand before you, I stand as D'Angelo McDade, an 18-year-old from the west side of Chicago. I too am a victim, a survivor, and a victor of gun violence. I come from a place where minorities are controlled by both violence and poverty, leading us to be deterred by success. But today we say no more. I stand before you representing the body of those who have experienced and lost their lives due to gun violence. For we are survivors. For I am a survivor. For we are survivors not only of gun violence, but of silence. For we are survivors of the erratic productions of poverty. But not only that, we are the survivors of unjust policies and practices upheld by our Senate.
Right.
We are survivors of lack of resources within our schools. We are survivors of social, emotional, and physical harm. Dr. King had a dream that we as youth must now make our reality. Ephesians 4:2-3 says, be completely humble and gentle. Be patient, bearing with love. Make every count. Keep its unity of the Spirit through peace and love. For 1 Peter says in chapter 4, verse 8, above all, you ain't hearing me. It says above all, love each other deeply because love covers all wrongdoing. And so as we, let me hear you say we. Let me hear you say we. As you must now be the change that we see. My mother has this phrase that she used all the time. And she told me before I left home to come deal with this. She says, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I stand for peace.
My name is Matthew Soto, and at the age of 15, I sat in my high school Spanish class while my sister Victoria Soto was being slaughtered in her first grade classroom in Newtown, Connecticut. On December 14th, Vicki went into school to make gingerbread houses with her first grade students before their holiday break. How many of you can remember doing that? The anticipation of having to wait all week to have to be on your best behavior. But that was cut short. They didn't get to make gingerbread houses because gunfire rang out in the hallway. Too many times has gunfire been ringing out in the hallways of schools across this country. Too many schools, too many churches, too many movie theaters, too many neighborhoods, too many homes. Enough is enough. We do not have to wait for others to make us safe. We need to do it ourselves. America, I am pleading with you to realize this is not okay. We do not have to live like this. To my fellow students, it is our time to stand up. Register to vote, bring power to the polls, and show those that say that our lives are not more important than a gun, that we are important, that we matter. Get involved in your community, because change, no matter how small, is change. Many of the students that were in 4th grade when my sister was murdered are now freshmen in high school. 5 years ago this happened. 5 years ago, and no change has come. Today, over 400 students, teachers, and parents of Newtown families are here marching with us today. Today, we are presenting a banner to the Parkland community from the Newtown community. We know your pain, we know what you are going through, and we are inspired by your fight for change. We need to use our voices because we cannot change the past, but we can only fight to change and build a better future.
My name is Tommy Murray. I'm a junior at Newtown High School. I live in Sandy Hook, and I attended the Sandy Hook Elementary School when I was in 1st grade to 4th grade. I was in 6th grade on lockdown for hours and hours when my neighbor shot his mother in her bed, then gunned down 20 children and 6 of our educators, including my principal, Don Hawksprung. It was one of the worst days of my life. Since then, I have attended vigils, I have protested in front of the gun lobby in our town, I have sent letters to Congress, I traveled to DC to meet with Congress to beg them to do something to stop gun violence, but they did nothing. They didn't ban assault weapons or pass universal background check bills, and now the entire Parkland community is shattered, the way our town was after the massacre in my elementary school. We are here to support the Stoneman Douglas students. We want to tell you to keep fighting as hard as you can. Your voices are so important. Your stories have truly changed the hearts and minds, and together, our stories will create the change that we need. If these mass shootings can happen in Newtown and Parkland, then they can happen anywhere. Connecticut passed strong gun laws after Sandy Hook, and Congress should do the same. Let's stand together to demand change. We will march with you. We will walk out with you. We will vote with you. We will end gun violence in our country, and we will honor with action.
My name is Jackson Middleman, and I'm also a junior at Newtown High School. Tommy and I lead a gun violence prevention group that has been rallying since we were 11 years old to end gun violence in America. I was also on lockdown for 5 hours on 12/14/12, the worst day of my life. The Sandy Hook mass shooting should have been the last one in our nation, but there are more and more every single day. And that's why Newtown says enough, and we say never again. We have worked incredibly hard for the last 5 years to protect other communities, but apparently Sandy Hook was not enough for America to make the changes. But after Parkland, we feel hope. You have inspired millions of students and adults all around the world. We want to thank the Parkland students, and we want to let them know that Newtown High School students stand with them. Long after the media trucks leave, we will stand by you during your healing and recovery. We are forever connected by a tragedy that could have been prevented if our lawmakers had the courage to enact smart gun legislation. It touched our hearts when Columbine High School sent us a banner with their message of love and hope, and we hope our message from Newtown High School will help you through your darkest days. And before we finish, I have a message. Mr. Trump, Congress, the Senate, and all elected leaders of America, you have failed us, and we have had enough of your NRA agenda. I'm calling out those who have taken money from the NRA. You better bring that check to the bank and put it in your retirement fund, because we're going to vote you out. And now I'd like to introduce the Newtown and Parkland demand for change. Newtown wants change. Parkland wants change. The world wants change. Give it to us now.
Douglas, to Sandy Hook, to Virginia Tech, and to Columbine. To every friend, parent, sister or brother who lost a loved one, my heart is with you. And though I can't be there with you today, I stand with you. I already talked to some of the students who organized this march today. Now, I want to talk to the rest of you, to everyone listening today. I hope that you will ask these student leaders how you can help them. They need other students, teachers, parents, and leaders to work together to end gun violence in schools. Whatever your politics, I know that no one wants another child to witness what these children have seen. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Sawyer. My name's Andrea. And we are survivors from Marjorie Stoneman Douglas, and we also wrote the song Shine.
This song is not only dedicated to the 17 and 14 injured, the 17 victims that we lost. It's dedicated to all their friends and family, and to anyone who's ever experienced gun violence.
Together, we are going to be the change. We are going to change the world. Thank you. You threw my city away. You tore down the walls and opened up all the gates. You ruined this town. You burned all of the bridges and you slowly let us drown. But you're not gonna knock us down. We'll get back up again. You may have hurt us, but I promise we'll be stronger. And we're not gonna let you in. We're putting up a fight. You may have brought the dark, but together we will shine the light. And whoa, we will be something special. Whoa, we're gonna shine. We're gonna stand tall, gonna raise up our voices so we'll never ever fall. We're done with all your little games. We're tired of hearing that we're too young to ever make a change. 'Cause you're not gonna knock us down. We'll get back up again. You may have hurt us, but I promise we'll be stronger. And we're not gonna let you in. We're putting up a fight. You may have brought the dark, but together we will shine a light. And whoa, we're gonna shine. We can hug a little tighter. We can
minutes and about 20 seconds. In a little over 6 minutes, 17 of our friends were taken from us, 15 were injured, and everyone, absolutely everyone, in the Douglas community was forever altered. Everyone who was there understands. Everyone who has been touched by the cold grip of gun violence understands. For us, long, tearful, chaotic hours in the scorching afternoon sun were spent not knowing. No one understood the extent of what had happened. No one could believe that there were bodies in that building waiting to be identified for over a day. No one knew that the people who were missing had stopped breathing long before any of us had even known that a code red had been called. No one could comprehend the devastating aftermath or how far this would reach or where this would go. For those who still can't comprehend because they refuse to, I'll tell you where it went. Right into the ground, 6 feet deep. 6 minutes and 20 seconds with an AR-15, and my friend Carmen would never complain to me about piano practice. Aaron Feist would never call Kira Miss Sunshine. Alex Schachter would never walk into school with his brother Ryan. Scott Beagle would never joke around with Cameron at camp. Helen Ramsey would never hang out after school with Max. Gina Montalto would never wave to her friend Liam at lunch. Joaquin Oliver would never play basketball with Sam or Dylan. Elena Petty would never. Kara Lugren would never. Chris Hickson would never. Luke Hoyer would never. Marquine Duque Aguiano would never. Peter Wang would never. Alyssa Al-Hadaf would never. Jamie Guttenberg would never. Meadow Pollock would never. Since the time that I came out here, it has been 6 minutes and 20 seconds. The shooter has ceased shooting and will soon abandon his rifle, blend in with the students as they escape, and walk free for an hour before arrest. Fight for your lives before it's someone else's job.
You have grown and accepted that soon you'll be drenched to the bone.
anything without the support of you guys. We all know what this is like, and it's up to us to stop it. So one last final plug, get out there and vote, get out there and get registered, and if we are united. We are called the United States of America for that reason. Together we are whole, together we are one. Look to your left, look to your right. Brothers and sisters is what I see. Together we unite to make a whole. Congress, politicians, you are the parents. Hear your children cry. We want to come home. We want home. Whole home. Make our home well. Make our home prosperous. Make our generation the generation that fights. Make the generation that is change. We are the change. Look at us. Look at your children. Your children are the ones fighting for their rights because they're fighting for their life to survive. We are here today for the survival fact that no bloodshed due to the fact of a metal machine made by a human, triggered by a human. Guns only serve one purpose, to take a life. They don't spare, they don't protect, they take lives. When you stare at a gun, you know it's your end. We are saying no more. We are here to say we are United States of America and we are one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. United are united.
La lucha sigue ya. Para la gente, for our people. La lucha sigue. We will not stop. We shall not stop. We are magical. Somos poderosos. We are magic. We are power. La gente, bro. La gente.
Let me see. Wait.
As one last important note, I think it's important that we realize we are, just like we are all Americans, we are all susceptible to the same corruption and greed, regardless of who you are or where you come from. So what we have here, what is constantly being sowed, are the seeds of corruption. But it's our job as the democracy to ensure that those seeds never sprout. But the only way you can do that is by getting out and voting. If not for me, for everybody else on this stage, and every single American child out there, vote for us, vote for our future, and help us fight for our lives at marchforourlives.com.
Just give the mic.
Hey everyone. Thank you all for coming today. If you look around, you are surrounded by the people who will be making this country a better place and who will be making it easier to sleep at night, easier to wake up in the morning and go to school, and easier to be Americans. So to all of you who are assisting us in the fight for change, thank you. Thank you all. And the fight begins today, and it will not end until we get what we need. Thank you.
Like near the subway station?
Today's program has concluded. Please follow guidance and sign up for important safety, weather, traffic, and transit information by texting March 24 to 888-777.